Hey everyone, it's Mouseplays, and welcome back to another Mekanism tutorial. And in this episode, we're going to be covering intermediate power generation. So you may remember in the initial episode, I talked a little bit about the wind generator and the solar generator, but today we're just going to go in depth with intermediate power generation, and we're going to see what comes out of it. You can see we're going to cover 3 types of intermediate power generation, and then we're also going to cover some energy cubes, which are a way to store power in Mekanism. But first, let's start with the solar generator. Now the solar generator and the wind generator, either one of these is going to be the first generator you make, so let's focus first on the solar generator. So the solar generator will produce power in the daytime. It will not produce any power at night, so it is very useful as a complement to the wind generator compared to just your only power source. So the solar generator will work during the day. You can see here it'll tell you if it's during the day or not, and then it'll also just pull in power from the sun. To craft the solar generator, you're going to need 3 solar panels, which themselves are made up with 3 pieces of stained glass of any kind, an infused alloy, redstone, and osmium. If you're unfamiliar with any of these items, please go back to the beginning of this series where we talk about osmium and infused alloys, and then come back here so we can keep going. But you can see you'll need 3 of those solar panels, and each one you make will only be one, so you got to keep that in mind. And then once you make all this, you're going to need 3 solar panels, 2 infused alloy, 1 iron ingot, 2 osmium ingots, and then an energy tablet, which itself is made with 3 gold, 4 redstone, and 2 infused alloys. So it is a bit pricey. Both the wind generator and the solar generator are pretty pricey, at least for a beginning game sense. But with that, let's just talk about the behavior. So with the solar generator, you need to make sure that it has direct access to the sky. You can see if I block it here, it thinks that it's nighttime. It will not produce any power. You can see if I take it off again, then it does see that it is sunlight again. So you have to make sure that it's not covered at all. Additionally, this also applies to the wind generator as well, but specifically with the solar generator, it just means it will work or it won't work. So you got to make sure it's in sunlight. And then it also varies based on the time of the day and the weather. So for example, right now it's pretty sunny, but as we get more towards sunset, so once you start to see the color like a yellow in the sky, that's when your power generation from your solar generator is going to slow down a bit. So you just want to make sure that you are doing all of your Mekanism needs during the day instead of at night if you only have solar generators. Again, there is one way that you can use solar generators at night as well, but we'll get into that later with energy cubes. And then finally, there is another option from the solar generator, which is the advanced solar generator. And the advanced solar generator itself takes 4 solar generators, 2 infused alloys, and then 3 iron ingots. And that just creates one of these. And this is the same as well, it just produces much more power. But you can see if I just block one little part of it, it won't completely destroy it, as you can see. When the majority of the solar panels are covered, you can see here, that's when this will think that it's nighttime. So you got to keep that in mind when you're doing this. So basically that's how the solar generator works. It's really more for a daytime use instead of a nighttime use, but it's really useful to complement the wind generator, which is what we're going to talk about now. So the wind generator is a very good as a beginning power source, as it's very reliable. It doesn't really change at all. It is very reliable, and it even will scale up with the height of the wind generator. So if I put this at the world height, this thing is going to produce way more power than if it's sitting at ground level or even below ground level. Now, going below ground level, you can place wind generators below ground level, but you just have to make sure that they can see the sky. If they can't see the sky, then they will not produce electricity, just like the solar generator doesn't. So to craft a wind generator, you're going to need 3 osmium ingots, 1 infused alloy, 1 basic control circuit, which again we go over in previous Mekanism tutorials, and then 2 energy tablets. So it is a teensy-weensy bit cheaper than the solar generator, but the solar generator you can make more of. So this, basically, as you can see, it'll just consistently produce power over time. Another thing to keep in mind about the wind generator is it does produce noise. But to simply fix that, all you need to do is upgrade it with the muffling upgrade. We'll go through upgrades in a future tutorial, but right now all you need to know is that you can add a muffling upgrade, which will get rid of the sound from the machine. So pretty much, the wind generator, in my opinion, should be the basis of your machine. The basis of your entire Mekanism power grid because it is just the most reliable power grid in the beginning of the game. Now, again, once you get more towards the advanced side of the game, then it will change to a different kind of power generation, which we will go through then. But for right now, all you need to know is that the wind generator is really reliable as a beginning power source. And that's all I really would recommend it for. Next, we're going to go on to probably more of a unique one, which is the biogenerator. And basically, the biogenerator turns natural objects in the world, so like leaves, grass, seeds, wheat, like vegetables, and flowers, into energy. So there's a two-step process to it. So you're going to need to put in the biogenerator, you're going to need to put in what's called biofuel. You can see the name right here. And to make biofuel, you basically have to crush any kind of organic material in a crusher, which we go through crusher in a previous video. So for example, I have a flower here. So if I grab a rose bush, let's say I grab a stack of rose bushes, and then I put this in the crusher, what it's going to do is, now that it has that, it's going to turn this into biofuel. And then what I can do with this biofuel is I can put this, as you can see, it makes 5 biofuel. I can take this out, I can put it in the biogenerator, and then that will convert into energy. You can see it will probably convert a good amount of energy. As you can see, we've got about 900 biofuel here. So that is very useful to be able to use. So you can see we're already here to 10, and then I can fill that back up, and that goes all the way up again. So pretty much you can just, if you make like an automatic villager farm, then you can have that move items, which we'll go into moving items into a future video. But you can move those into the crusher and then move that into the biogenerator. So that basically just allows you to create infinite electricity with a villager farm. And that villager farm will then create like crops, and then that will go into your biogenerator. And I can keep putting biofuel in here. It converts into what's called bioethanol. It's basically just the fuel version of it. So pretty much, yeah, that's the biogenerator. Biogenerators are going to be very reliable, and they are very power dense compared to, say, the wind generator and the solar generator. But it's also more for a flexible situation when you're underground. So say you're underground and you don't want to have access to sun, so you want to create like an underground base, you can use a biogenerator instead of like a wind generator or a solar generator to create that energy without having to have access to sun or the sky, either or. It's a very reliable source of power when you can have consistent access to biofuel. When you can have that consistent access to biofuel, there's really no problem with it, and it really can create a lot of energy all at once. So moving on from all the power generation sources, now we're going to talk about energy cubes. So energy cubes are a way to store energy that you create and produce to use later on. So you can see this right here is the basic energy cube. You can see it can hold 800 KFE, and Fe is a source of energy for Mekanism, and then K is just a standard unit in the science world. But pretty much what this does is it can just store that energy in there for use in other machines in the future. And then pretty much coming over here, this shows you the different tiers of energy cubes you can get. Now these basic, advanced, elite, and ultimate tiers exist all over Mekanism. They exist in control circuits, in factories, which we will get into in a future video. They also exist, as you can see here, in cables, pipes, all of these things, and of course energy cubes. So basically, energy cubes just dictate how much energy would go into something. So what I'm going to do here to show you is I'm going to connect all of this to our power grid. You can see we get this green, it fills up with this green, which is just their indication of power. So you can see this one is the KFE, and then this one holds 3.2 mega FE. This one holds 12.8 mega FE, and then the ultimate cube holds 51.2 mega FE. So it very much increases exponentially, and then also the cables, specifically themselves, they have a carrying capacity. So if I pull these up, you can see that the advanced one is 5.12 kilo FE per tick, my bad. And then so 1.8 kilo FE for the basic cable, and that's per tick. 25.6 KFE for the elite cable, and then 128 KFE per tick for the ultimate universal cable. So really in the beginning game, you're not going to have to worry about the basic or advanced or elite or ultimate cables, because you're not going to be moving as much power. But when you build such as like a factory that's going to have a lot of power being used, you're going to want to have the elite or the ultimate cables to make sure that power is getting to the machines that you need it to. And then with the energy cubes, really this is going to be the first point where you use that energy. So if I look at this one, for example, the basic energy cube is a steel casing, 4 redstone dust, 2 iron ingots, and then those energy tablets, 2 of them. And then going up to the advanced energy cube, you can see that this one is the basic energy cube, along with 2 more energy tablets, 4 infused alloys, and then 2 osmium ingots. And then going up from here to there, there's going to be a little bit more advanced items that we will get to in future videos. But basically, in this video, I just wanted to introduce you to the tiers of basic, advanced, elite, and ultimate that exists in Mekanism, because it will be very useful for the future videos we come across. Pretty much that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you'd like to see next. I'm going to continue making these Mekanism tutorials. I really enjoy making them because I always love this mod, and I think that it's one of the most in-depth Minecraft mods that exist. So I just want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you feel the same about Mekanism? And also, if you have any questions about any of the content that we covered in this video, just leave them down below and I'll be sure to answer them. But anyways, I'm Mouse Plays, it's been magical, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone!